I don't want to get involved in the drama there, but I do think that is something for people to, and especially a character like Lue, who is surrounded by a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
I do think, and all I'll say is I think more questions need to be asked in documents void about his time at CIFA in the early 2000s, the counterintelligence field activity.
Oh, yeah.
I left the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been and never will be.
Part of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence is now working to conglomerate all of these databases, and that the counterintelligence field activity, CIFA, of the Department of Defense is working to ensure that the military gains access to all of these.
It showed that the agency spied on don't ask, don't tell protests and anti-war protests at several universities around the country. They also show the government monitored student emails and planted undercover agents on at least one protest.
The documents that they've released have shown that they have spied on student groups.
A defense contractor with ties to Cunningham's troubles has been sold. It's MZM Incorporated, sold yesterday to a private investment firm. The head of MZM, Michael Wade, bought Cunningham's Del Mar home for more than $1.7 million.
A recent raid and ongoing investigation into Representative Randy Duke Cunningham's deals with defense contractor.
Organizers say Cunningham's alleged misconduct with a defense contractor is grounds for immediate resignation.
He's also a longtime friend of Brent Wilkes, the defense contractor who allegedly bribed Cunningham with money and reportedly with prostitutes as well.
I will continue to cooperate with the government's ongoing investigation to the best of my ability. In my life, I have had great joy and great sorrow, and now I know great shame.
I left the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been and never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
All right, so by the end of this, hopefully, I think we could do this in like 30 minutes or so. You should understand all those clips that were in that little intro. Yes, he was an ace in Vietnam. That was the largest bribery scandal ever in Congress. All right, CIFA, here we go. This is kind of the outline of this part. So we get this because Stephen Greenstreet found this name in a document. I guess I'll just read it, and then you'll understand more as we go later. This is an FBI report because, okay, so I guess I don't even know how the fuck to do this. It's still fresh. My documentary on this will be really good. My part 2, Lou, it'll be very fleshed out and organized and coherent. Counterintelligence Field Activity Office created after 9/11, part of the whole Patriot Act thing, basically to try and prevent terrorists. Eventually got closed down for like basically gang stalking anti-war protesters. They were overly surveilling people on the lower ends of like the internet. Like they were saying they were hacking people. We heard there in the news report they were sending plants into student groups and stuff like that, disrupting, you know what I mean? Oh, that reminds me. Amy had some good stuff to say about honeypots, but that's for another day. But so here's the document. And I guess I'll just say this now too.
Hold on. I want a smooth, real coherent thing. I want to also know if I'm on the right page here. After 9/11, there was a government group created to control chatter and what do you call it? Counterculture stuff, right? Criticisms about the war that was about to take place, right? So the counterintelligence field activity is basically that. They were surveying protesters and people online just to control their chatter. They were also sending in agents to run surveillance. They were sending in people to pretend to be students. It almost seemed like they had an infinite amount of money. Like they were doing a lot, right? Am I correct here? They were running these ops against civilians in the name of like national security. It was then deemed an overreach, and the director of it resigned in shame. It was
well, not just that. There's two things. So there was the overreach, and then there was bribery shit all tied into it, and hookers, and they were blackmailing, I think. So yeah, this was kind of like
these guys were running. They're running crazy. They were going crazy.
They're like a gang or something.
Like in like the gang of cops that Denzel Washington's character ran with in Training Day. Yeah. They're just out there doing the worst shit.
So we're all on the same page. I'll just read this. I'll take one for the team. Counterintelligence Field Activity, CIFA, And shout out Gerb, and I like Gerb. I don't want this to sound like I don't like Gerb. And we all have our own battles, and I appreciate him shouting that out because I feel like there's people who will listen to him and not me. Whatever, it is what it is. He's very comfortable talking about Greer, right? He'll talk mad shit about Greer. Talk your shit, Gerb. Get it, bro. He doesn't need to be called out on some things, but those are the only clips of him talking about Elizondo. Those 2 clips. You know that?
Clips of him saying,
I don't want to talk about that.
Get into it, but people should look into his time at CIFA. People should FOIA his time at CIFA. Almost like he's afraid.
My life is going to end within a couple of days, and then I'm going to take down Tupa and Red first.
Lue did previously work at the counterintelligence field activity, so I don't want to get involved in the drama there, but I do think that is something for people to, especially a character like Lue, who is surrounded by a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
I do think, and all I'll say is I think more questions need to be asked and documents FOIA'd about his time at CIFA in the early 2000s, the counterintelligence field activity.
Oh, yeah.
He has heard some shit.
I'm not trying to be a hater, but I think it's worth noting, like Gerb is, I think, a very accomplished researcher, does really great edited videos, but like also be aware, like the dynamics around this conversation. You know what I mean? Gerb, who I think is one of the best of us, is like mad about it.
That's fear.
You know what I mean?
He's like, I don't want to touch this. I don't want to touch this, dude. CIFA. Looks like we have like.
And what do we do, Tupa? Dive right into the gutter.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into it, dude. We're gonna go right into this defamed like group. And Talon, we're gonna go right into it. We're gonna wonder, how did Uplifting Tweets get his account turned back on? How do they know all these people's background information? How are they able to do house calls? CIFA. Very interesting group of people, very interesting group of tactics.
All the boys back together, bro.
Damn.
So Counterintelligence Field Activity, CIFA, was a United States Department of Defense, a DoD agency, whose size and budget were classified. The CIFA was created by Directive Number 5105.67 from the Secretary of Defense, then Donald Rumsfeld. Now, this is where you, JK Philly fan, alien scientist had told me, let me see, I think I got it over here. So Rumsfeld was working for Solomon Smith back in the day, and they're connected to Freescale Semiconductors. So Rumsfeld, and a fun fact about Rumsfeld too, I don't know if you know this, Tuba, in the 60s, he was a young, early congressman, and he actually introduced J. Allen Hynek at that one hearing after the Michigan wave. Like, he was the congressman who like introduced him to the thing. So kind of in the UFO shit on some other shit, low key. So I'm just throwing that out there. This would have been the years where the dark shit was happening for Lue. Maybe I'm open to honestly CIFA having some like UFO shit. They for sure were shady, though. To be determined on the UFO stuff. We'll see.
That was a fun factoid, though.
Donald Rumsfeld, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
February 19th, 2002. So not even, 3 months after 9/11, bro? Just down to anything that needed to be done, right? Anything that needed to be done, right? I think if you were alive, we could all, I think, definitely remember. Oh, by the way, also, shout out Days. Thank you for the $49 super chat. God bless you. We love you. And you're a sub on X, so God bless you. But, yeah, the energy at that time, right? Like, that's when the Patriot Act was passed. That's when all this crazy stuff was passed that they later had to walk back, allegedly. On August 8th, 2008, it was announced that CIFA would be shut down. The Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, absorbed most of the components and authorities of CIFA into the Defense Counterintelligence and Human Intelligence Center, and was later consolidated into the Defense Clandestine Service. Mission.
The DIA, isn't the DIA where Average Chris works now, according to Moneypenny?
Oh, dear. Fuck, every time, huh? Yeah, I mean, hey, it has to be said. I'm not saying Chris is that. If he is that, at least he called out the bullshit that a lot of people were dealing with. So
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I listen.
But it's worth noting, bro.
Yeah.
CIFA goals were to effectively and efficiently manage and oversee the Defense Department counterintelligence enterprise, to synchronize defense counterintelligence activities across the department in coordination with the national intelligence community, to manage priority counterintelligence plans and projects in fulfillment of national department and combatant commander requirements, to select and develop unique counterintelligence operational support capabilities and make them available to a wider intelligence community, to serve as the primary source of career development and training for counterintelligence professionals, to identify, develop, and field advanced technologies for counterintelligence, to create a joint interoperable and synchronized approach to counterintelligence as a distinct intelligence discipline, to assess the feasibility of a department-level joint operational element in defense counterintelligence. Okay, I think next I want to go. Let's watch some of the news coverage of like when it actually broke that this was happening in like the scandal parts. Let's see. So I got a little clip montage.
Showed that the agency spied on don't ask, don't tell protests and anti-war protests at several universities around the country. They also show the government monitored student emails and planted undercover agents on at least one protest.
The documents that they've released have shown that they have spied on student groups, including student groups at UC Santa Clara, the state universities in New York, the NYU Law School. And what those documents show is that they were investigating these groups for potential terrorist activity. They even called a gay kiss-in at UC Santa Cruz that was trying to protest Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It was, quote, a credible threat of terrorism, end quote.
To help the government track suspected terrorists and spies who may be visiting or residing in the country, the FBI and the Defense Department for the past 3 years have been paying a Georgia-based company for access to its vast databases that contain billions of personal records and about nearly every person, citizens and non-citizens alike in the U.S. Among the services Choice Point provides to the government is access to a previously undisclosed and vaguely described exclusive data searching system. This system, in effect, gives law enforcement and intelligence agencies the ability to use private data broker to do something that they legally can't, keep tabs on nearly every American.
So, and again, this all has to be viewed in the context of this is what Lue Elizondo was doing, the circles he was in before he was tasked to take those same skill sets to the UFO community. And I think me and Tupa have done, and a lot of other people, done a good job illuminating that he has a hate group of people who do crazy shit to people. And he somehow has a way of finding information about people that other people can't. And I'm not even saying what he's doing now is official or sanctioned, but the fact that he's coming from this world and doing this today, like it has to be asked, right, Tupa? Like either sanctioned or not. Like it's like if a UFC fighter gets in a fight, right? It's like not just like a normal person getting in a fight. Like you're trained on some other shit, bro, right before you came to our community. I guess
if these facts were brought up in 2021 when these original claims were made about Lue, about the kind of operation he was running, if these facts would have been revealed, it would have been so obvious what was happening. These are the exact kind of, this is the information that,
and this is why facts were obfuscated, right?
Exactly. And this is why people were vilified. This is astounding.
This is crazy, right? I told you, I was like, bro, I don't even want to tell you in a space.
Well, dude,
I want to do it live together. This is insane.
One of the things that's really getting to me now is the fact that UAP Gerb as a name has been elevated to someone of prominence, which is great. And I support that. But it's Gerb who brought this up. Do you understand?
It was actually Green Street, and I was looking into
it.
Well,
no. Green Street. I don't mean brought this up as in someone who broke the story, but like he's the one in these in his two recent bigger interviews as someone who's been ingratiated into the congratulations, Gerb's one of us. He's brought this up by him bringing this up.
And kudos to him. And no, 100% kudos to him. It's not a. I'll be honest. If I'm being honest, I was like. Well, because people like throw it in our face all the fucking time, right? They're like, why can't he be like Gerb? He doesn't do drama. He just research. And it's like, okay, but like, look at Gerb's not down to talk about this. But to his credit, he knows it's a fucking messy world over here, and he did like at least help illuminate some of this stuff to a degree. Yeah, so for sure, shout out Gerb. Shout out Green Street.
I think some people just give us information because they know we're going to talk about it, bro. Like. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's give them something to talk about. Let's go.
Getting Bonnie Raitt in the mix. Yes.
And then foreigner in.
We know that there are dozens of these databases: Cornerstone, Talon, JREES, LEO, LESIC, the Coast Guard ICC database, the FBI Guardian database, the FBI TRRS database, the Joint Intelligence Task Force Counterterrorism Homeland Defense database, the SSOMB database, the BTS summary. We know that these databases are out there and that they all deal with domestic issues. What is particularly worrisome right now is that the National Counterterrorism Center which is set up as part of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, is now working to conglomerate all of these databases, and that the Counterintelligence Field Activity, CIFA, of the Department of Defense is working to ensure that the military gains access to all of these databases as well. So each of these, which goes into the creation of various watch lists and various tip-offs for the military or the intelligence community to surveil certain people, that determine the key. There was some complaint issued yesterday by Bill Nelson of Florida in response to the...
That's the other thing. A lot of interesting names were coming up when I was digging into this CIFA shit, like Bill Nelson of Florida. He would go on to be the NASA administrator and talk about all this UFO shit. Daniel Inouye's name would come up a lot. Ted Stevens' name would come up a lot. And I think even fucking Harry Reid's name would come up a lot when I was looking into this. And they all are the ones who founded up ATIP in 2008.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna dig deeper into, so for my documentary it'll be, like I said, this is fresh. This is like
oh my God.
Yeah, it's very, I don't even know what to make of it.
Well, this is the laundry machine. This is more evidence that ufology is the laundry machine of these people's war crimes, or human rights violations, or you know what I mean, constitutional violations.
Yeah, and that's why I say when it's like, dude, Tulsi's about to get him, bro. Like, he's already connected to some overspying American shit. Like when they talk about the deep state being weaponized against Americans, they're literally talking about like Lue Elizondo CIFA type shit, Snowden type shit. You know what I mean? Let's see what you got next. So not only is CIFA, do we love CIFA? Some of their contracts are Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Halliburton. This is the story that broke it all in 2004. Aren't those interesting names that CIFA has in the mix, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
What do you think about those names, bro? I'll read the article from 2004 that broke the story, December 13, or actually 2005, sorry. CIFA is becoming the superpower of data mining within the U.S. national security community. Its operational and analytical records include reports, investigation, collection reports, statements of individuals, affidavits, correspondence, and other documentation pertaining to investigative or analytical efforts by the DoD and other U.S. government agencies to identify terrorist and other threats. Since March 2004, CIFA has awarded at least $33 million in contracts to corporate giants Lockheed Martin, Unisys Corporation, Corporate Sciences Corporation, and Northrop Grumman to develop databases that comb through classified and unclassified government data, commercial information, and internet chatter to help sniff out terrorists, saboteurs, and spies.
God damn it.
So Lue Elizondo coming from this world, the idea, oh, he doesn't know who King Milkfart is. He doesn't pay attention to any of that. Like,
he's literally watching online chatter. Like that's the data collection, the databases he has. These people have access to the way in which they operate, the arrogance that they have, that they're doing something to save America or something. This is
crazy, right?
I thought the U.S. aid stuff was really bad, but this is bad. This makes it so
bad.
much worse.
And bro, like I said, there's even some fucking Pizzagate shit that I don't want to talk about on the stream. I'll tell you in the back channel.
Oh my God, dude.
Let's see, what do we got next? So let's get into this Duke Cunningham thing. So let me see. Do I want to do it? Let's see the Wikipedia entry on it, because that might be helpful. Okay, actually, no, fuck it. We'll just do it this way. We'll do it live. Okay. Oh, wait. No, damn it.
You don't happen to have Alejandro Rojas's quote on here, do you?
No, but I can pull it up. Or can you pull it up? Can you stream something, or are you on your phone?
I can't. I don't think I can stream it.
Let me do it after. Let me see. If I just do one over, will it do it? Let's see.
I mean, the claims have been, the allegations so far, like he was running these sock puppet accounts and all this stuff. Like we couldn't figure out why. How? We knew it was like cookie cutter. It was too formulaic.
It was too much infrastructure, too much money. And I really think like what I said in Anjali's clip will go in really well too. Look at this, how difficult all this shit is every time. Let's present. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Members of a federal watchdog group are...
So this is the Duke Cunningham scandal, which kind of helped bring a lot of this to light too. So I guess there's two separate things kind of going on here. One, the surveillance and gang stalking and hacking and sending plants in. sending people that aren't really part of the group, acting like they're part of the group. Like, Lue comes from an organization that was doing that, right? This is the Duke Cunningham scandal. There was also this element of bribery and weird shit going on where CIFA was just giving money to like shell companies that weren't doing shit, which I don't even know if this is going to cover it.
Oh, no.
But let's see. This is one perspective where one of the congressmen got caught up in it. And even this is shady where it's like he shouldn't have been the only one who got in trouble.
Also, elephant in the room. He looks weird.
This isn't the congressman, by the guy. This
for
is
sure.
Heading to San Diego tonight from Washington, D.C. to ask Congressman Randy Duke Cunningham to resign immediately. The group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, or otherwise known as CREW, will join local Democratic groups in presenting the congressman with signatures from an online campaign.
How much you want to bet this is where a Podesta staffer lives? He's in San Diego.
The site resignrandy.org urges Cunningham to resign because it feels he can no longer properly serve the 50th district. CREW is also lobbying the House Ethics Committee to launch an investigation.
Although we support the numerous federal probes that are investigating the various charges, we feel that as a member of the House, it is incumbent upon the House to look at its own members' conduct.
The groups will present the signatures tomorrow at noon at Representative Cunningham's Escondido office.
It may be getting more and more difficult for Congressman Randy Duke Cunningham to finish out his term in office.
While Cunningham says he won't seek re-election when his term ends in a year and a half, some North County Democrats want him to leave now. They delivered a petition to his Escondido office today. On the same day, the U.S. Attorney's Office said the congressman's Rancho Santa Fe home should be forfeited to the government.
We have team coverage tonight. Steve Price is in Escondido on the petition drive.
Well, you know, Barbara Lee and Stan, these petitions cannot formally remove Congressman Duke Cunningham from office, but they can definitely send him a message. San Diegans signing petitions urging Congressman Duke Cunningham to resign.
Because my representation is not for sale.
Resign not in 17 months when his term is up, but now.
Immediately, today. He should have resigned already. He shouldn't be putting the citizens of his district through this, where they need representation of someone who can actually focus on their interests and not his legal problems.
Melanie Sloan is from the nonpartisan group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. She's pleasantly surprised at how aggressively the Justice Department is going after Cunningham.
If it had just been about MZM and Mitchell Wade giving money solely to Mr. Cunningham's PAC and his campaign committee, we wouldn't see what we're seeing. It's the fact that the money, $700,000, went into his pocket directly, allowing him to buy this mansion, that I think has really caught the Justice Department's attention.
Sloan believes the FBI raids at MZM and ADCS, companies with ties to Congressman Cunningham, are just the tip of the iceberg.
MZM, this is going to be an important name to keep in mind. MZM is one of these like fake shell companies that was bribing this congressman with like hookers and money and all this shit. And then he was helping CIFA fund the money to them. You feel me? Is that making sense?
Money was coming from a shell company called MZM. And
other way, CIFA was giving money to a shell company called MZM. MZM's leadership was giving money and hookers to the congressmen who sit on the committee to help get the money going. So it's like shady at the politician level,
so
at the
they
CIFA
were
level,
bribing,
and shady at the MZM level.
CIFA was using a shell company to bribe Congress to allow CIFA to operate more.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. CIFA
And just to line their own pockets, it seemed.
So they created shell. Oh my God.
And she says the fact that the government is already seeking forfeiture of Cunningham's Rancho Santa Fe mansion tells her the case is moving quickly and she couldn't be happier.
I'm very pleased because I think Mr. Cunningham's behavior is very egregious, looks very serious, and by all accounts, the Department of Justice is taking it as seriously as it should. And it looks to me like Mr. Cunningham's going down for bribery.
Signatures that we have gathered by way of a petition that has been circulated for the last week and a half.
The petitions were turned over to Cunningham staff Thursday afternoon. Employees here say they'll be.
Dude.
Is that my computer? Uh-oh.
Forwarded on to Washington. As for Cunningham, he continues to maintain his innocence. He says he's done nothing wrong.
He's lying. What would you expect him to say? If he just admitted that he took a bribe, then he'd be going to jail now.
And several groups in Washington are hoping that someone in Congress will file a formal ethics complaint against Cunningham. try to convince him to go ahead and resign, but they say it is doubtful that will happen because when one congressman does that to another congressman, somebody turns around and does it to them as retribution. And so they say a lot of the Congress people at this point are standing back and saying, hey, the Department of Justice is handling it. We're just going to let them go ahead with their investigation.
All right, Steve Price, thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Carol LeBeau.
And I'm Hal Clement. The congressman listed his home for $3.5 million, but there is a catch. Let's go to 10 News reporter Kim Edwards, high above Rancho Santa Fe in Sky 10. Kim?
Well, you'll remember the congressman's problems started with a real estate deal. That was of his Del Mar home. He used that money, the proceeds from the sale, to buy this house in Rancho Santa Fe, 5 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and 1 claim from the government. The house sits on 3 acres in an exclusive neighborhood. Real estate agents say selling a home in this price range usually takes a while, and it's nearly impossible when the listing includes a line warning buyers of a claim against the property.
Nancy and I have decided to sell our home in Rancho Santa Fe.
Just days after the congressman announced he would sell his house and donate some of the proceeds to charity, the U.S. Attorney's Office filed a secret civil lawsuit against the property. Basically, Cunningham cannot sell the house, and if he does, the government says it has a right to the money.
A member of Congress shouldn't be able to spend the next 17 months as a member of Congress waiting for indictment.
Even this shit feels uppy, honestly, against him. But basically, something happened where he bought the house. Somehow in this transaction, the guy who was running MZM, one of these like fake shell companies that appeared out of nowhere, gave Cunningham like $1 million or some shit like that.
Right.
In the process of all that. And let's see. I think is there anything else? So more of that, more petition, blah 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 blah. Yeah, see, I just had them all together here. But see, doesn't it feel
bribing people, dude, taking it down? Yeah, this whole thing. News back in the day always seems fake when I watch it now, but
right?
This is
it's like,
crazy.
What the fuck? Okay, let's see what we got next. So yeah, like I said, there's prostitutes in the mix, where some of these contractors like MZM were. Now, mind you, this all ties into CIFA because CIFA was sending MZM millions of dollars, right? And I think this is why Cunningham got bagged, because I read another thing, and like I said, I'm going to flesh this all out more, but more people should have been in trouble than him, in my opinion. Just getting a cursory look. But yeah, just the fact that, like, these people, I'm not saying Lue Elizondo particularly, but that world is willing to use, like, prostitutes and shit like that. And we already hear about honeypot. Like, it's such a different world than I think most people are used to. So I just thought this was an important data point to highlight. Let's see. Then they closed it. Let's see what else we got. This is where it's going to get a little bit like
2008.
Very
interesting
year. Yeah, 2008, another great year. Oh, here's what I was talking about. I don't have pictures of them up here, but so here's an example. When you look at all the documents, maybe it's just because of the committee they were on, but to the Honorable John Warner, Chairman. And over here we got.
What year is this from?
This is like 2000. Oh shit! Where the fuck? Oh no! What happened there? 2000. What does that say? 6. I want to say.
Yeah, it looks like.
So there's documents of like through all of it being made and all of it not. But then we got Rockefeller on here. We got John Warner, which I'm pretty sure is either our John Warner's like dad or Chris Mellon's uncle or something like that. And then we got Daniel Inoyue and Ted Stevens, who would fund up ATIP a few years later, or actually, yeah, like 2 years, or OSAP 2 years after this. Isn't that interesting that these names are like all here in the mix right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of it yet. Then what do we got here?
Perfect Storm says 2005, which is fine.
2005. Okay. All right, so the one document we have, so you know who MZM is, right? And this, you know who CIFA is. Let's read the document we have that names a Lue Elizondo as working there, which, by the way, like I said earlier,
whoa,
in his
what?
So this is the FBI investigation into it all after it closed down. This is where they found it.
This is an investigation specifically into the shell company MZM,
into MZM and
its relation to CIFA.
Yes, okay. And Cunningham and all this dirty shit. In emails dated March 30th, 2005, DoD employees discuss a new data acquisition and conversion project for which $12 million is apparently allocated. At approximately 10:41 a.m. on March 30th, CIFA's chief technical scientist, Theodore Weatrack, asked other DoD CIFA employees via email, "Is our guidance to give all of our money to MZM?" Subsequent emails indicate that Weatrack promptly received an affirmative response that MZM was to receive all the new money. Right, so already people are like, this is shady that are working there. That same day at approximately 12:26 p.m., Weatrack objects because we are being directed to pass the money to a single contractor who performed poorly on the last effort. I believe this is wrong and respectfully decline to participate.
Ooh.
In response to his you got something there?
No, that's bold. This is a bold email. This is bold back and forth, dude. Calling it out, yo, like you want.
And this is where our friend comes in. What is our friend going to do here, bro? This is where our friend comes in.
This is crazy, dude.
In response to his complaints, Weatrack was simply informed by a CIFA employee, Lue Elizondo, by email forwarded on March 31st at 7:08 a.m. that CIFA's deputy director, Joseph Hefferon, directed that CIFA stay with MZM, the company that would later bring all this shit down, the shady company. He's the guy telling the guy trying to raise the alarm. He's like, no, this is actually cool. Like this shady shit. I don't know if that's the same Lue Elizondo, but it's not. CIFA employee Lue Elizondo comes in and says, "Hey, actually, you know what? You're right. I looked at that too, and that does look like a little shady." He's like, "No, bro, don't even ask.
Don't even ask, dude. Don't fucking ask about it."
I'm going to read a little bit more just so people could see the and that's the only mention of him, though. On April 11th, 2005, Amy Dahl, CIFA's chief information officer, also objected to the use of MZM for the new project. "We have not been happy with the lack of responsiveness on the part of MZM on the current contract, and the new statement of work includes development tasks which may extend beyond MZM's expertise.
Wow.
Since this order did not undergo a competition as we had requested and as I had documented, I suggest that either we reconsider the acquisition strategy and openly compete it, or we consider making Nick Vemish or Brian Demura or some other CIFA individual the TM. I cannot, a technical manager, I cannot in good faith have one of my folks serve as TM on an acquisition process we did not support, we're not consulted on." It adds stated during the statement of work working group effort would not be supported by us. So just another high-level person saying that they're not comfortable with this money exchange going on.
You know what's happening. By the way, the comment you have pinned up is from the chat is blocking some of the paperwork or whatever. But so what's going on here is that certain employees in CIFA, right, who are already doing pretty much illegal shit, are noticing, but aren't in the loop on the bribery aspect of it. They are surveying, they're in the thing, but the more illegal stuff, like having a shell company flooded with money and having CIFA be, you know what I mean, just be pouring all the money to them, didn't make any sense, because clearly MZM was presented as a contractor or some group that can do something, and they were given a bunch of money. Most of the team did not know, clearly, in my opinion, that MZM was given that money for a totally different reason. So when team leaders of CIFA start realizing, they assess the job as poorly done because MZM didn't really do what they were paid to do, because those team leaders don't know what MZM was meant for, which we've now known through these other lawsuits or whatever. MZM was a shell company that was used to bribe, right, to create distance between
some point,
CIFA
and do other shady shit too. But yeah, and I think just make those guys rich. But the crazy thing is, the only one who got in trouble really with all this was that congressman. Well, the head of this guy did too, but Lue Elizondo didn't. Lue Elizondo's here in FBI report saying no, that sketch company is good, but he's not in trouble for that. He's right here in black and white on the FBI report, bro.
And by the way, I know that we're saying we don't know if this is the Lue Elizondo, but one of the most praised researchers in the field, also one of the best researchers in the field I know of, Green Street. They've both identified that Lue Elizondo was in CIFA, and I doubt there's multiple. The odds of there being two Lue Elizondos.
Yeah, and his book checks out the location of the offices, even though he's vague about it.
Exactly, and I'm with Anjali. No amnesty or immunity for Lue Elizondo.
Why do you think he's always the one begging for it?
Exactly.
Why do you think he's always talking on behalf of the Lockheed? Because he's doing the same thing, bro. Dude, he's done
this
it.
This is now
crazy, right?
So bad, dude.
Oh, and then look, even more food for thought. So here he says, that same day at approximately 12:26 p.m., Weatrack objects because we were being directed to pass the money to a single contractor who performed poorly on the last effort. I believe this is wrong and respectfully decline to participate. In response to his complaint, Retract was simply informed by CIFA employee Lue Elizondo by email, blah, 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 that CIFA's deputy director, Joseph Hefferon, directed that CIFA stay with MZM. Now, this one on the top left is after all the shit went down, and it says that Hefferon had no knowledge of any of the shadiness.
Dude, it said Hefferon added that neither he nor Burt had authority over CIFA contracts, which were awarded by a separate agency. See what I'm saying? Like even CIFA was being used, dude. Like this is so shady. This is so shady.
This is crazy, right? That he's coming from a place that's connected to gang stalking, illegal surveillance, placing plants into people, contracts with Lockheed Martin, Halliburton,
laundering money through
blackmailing congressmen, who is also a fighter ace and shit, entrapping them with prostitutes. And I mean, that was the MZM thing, but he's happy to fucking tell everyone, hey, look away from MZM, give him the money, right?
He's involved because he knows.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, he's the one dealing the contracts, and he's the one out here being like, don't question the contract. He knows what MZM is doing. He's one of the only people listed here in the conversation that knows. The other people were never informed. Witriak or whatever, Witriak was not informed. Doesn't know. That's why they're calling. They're like, I'm not going to participate in this. It's sketchy to them, and they're already doing sketchy things.
Yes. So
they're like, hey, we're committing crimes. We're like, this what we're doing is unconstitutional. But you're talking about giving $12 million to a company we don't know what they do or who they are, and it's clearly money laundering. Like we're bribing people here with that. That's
a lot
crazy.
of money too, millions of dollars, bro.
12.
The only people
12.5, dude. Whoa.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of ties into this too. This is from the King Milkfart Harassment archive. Let me just get this real quick.
Play the hits.
Because and actually, while I pull it up, this might be fun to watch, to mention. Oh shit! Oh my god! So sorry.
How does behavior that we've been watching and hearing about and researching and documenting for 3 years, how does it match perfectly what this entire shamed, defamed, notorious government agency was literally designed to do, and he's involved in it?
Right. Okay, let's watch a few of these just real quick.
The paper trail here is crazy. And then he admits it.
Washington, D.C. now to Ken Silverstein with Harper's Magazine, who wrote the piece, Why Did the CIA's Chief Resign So Abruptly, on the loss of Goss? Why, Ken Silverstein?
Well, I think it's definitely tied to the whole Duke Cunningham scandal that's been unfolding and the allegations of these parties that were thrown at the Watergate Hotel and the several other hotels apparently in Washington. I've never heard that Porter Goss did anything personally wrong. I mean, no one suggested that he had any unsavory role at these parties. I have heard stories that he may have attended a few of the parties, but the bigger issue really is with the CIA's current executive director, although he apparently resigned yesterday, Dusty Fogo, who Goss brought in for reasons that were never quite clear and apparently has been defending. And he looks to be under intense scrutiny in this whole affair. The CIA, there's an internal investigation at the CIA, and the FBI is reportedly investigating him as well. He's acknowledged being at these parties. He's also a longtime friend of Brent Wilkes, the defense contractor who allegedly bribed Cunningham with money and reportedly with prostitutes as well. And so he is very, very deeply, he's at the center of this whole unfolding scandal, and he's very close to Goss. Furthermore, several other people close to Goss, CIA officials who he brought in, their names have surfaced in the investigation as well. Newsweek recently reported that Brent Bassett, who was nicknamed,
I think we were saying Ted Stevens' name also appeared too. So it seems like they were blackmailing a bunch of fucking people, and then they had Homeboy take the hit, and then maybe even had the other ones who didn't take the hit start up their next money laundering thing for them. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I get. I'm gonna have to dig through it more. Let me see. There's another one I wanted to play too. I was having to screen record these guys all fucking Democracy Now. There's so much work went into this.
Dude, is this like why Lue was working disinfo for these companies? Like, this is so weird. Like the Lukatsky thing, the skinwalkers of the Pentagon thing. Like, there's so many things to have to look at and reevaluate with this new information.
Right? Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I'll play the Anjali clip.
Now.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. On Friday, CIA Director Porter Goss abruptly resigned after less than 2 years on the job. President Bush made the announcement at the Oval Office, sitting next to Goss and Director of National Intelligence John Negroponte. Goss spoke after the president made the announcement.
It has been a very distinct honor and privilege to serve you, of course, the people of the country and the employees of the Central Intelligence Agency. I can tell you the trust and confidence you've placed in me and given me the latitude to work is something I could never have imagined, and I am most grateful for it. I would like to report back to you that I believe the agency is on a very even keel, sailing well. I honestly believe that we have improved dramatically. Your goals for our nation's intelligence capabilities, which are in fact the things that I think are keeping us very safe. And I honestly would report to you, sir, that we are safer for your efforts, your leadership.
Both the president and Goss have kept quiet about the reasons behind Goss's resignation. When a CNN reporter asked him about it on Saturday as he was leaving his home, Goss said only, quote, "It is one of those mysteries." But the Washington Post quoted anonymous senior administration officials saying that Bush lost confidence in Goss early on, and it had been decided months ago he'd be replaced. Goss, as a former congressman from Florida, had also come under increasing pressure as allegations arose that he and a top aide, Kyle Dusty Fago, may have attended poker parties where bribes and prostitutes were provided to now jailed Congressmember Randy Duke Cunningham. Fago is the executive director of the agency and is under...
So a bunch of people were at those parties that Homeboy got caught up in, one of them being the CIA director. If you guys are tracking here.
The CIA director was at those parties, dude.
With the hookers and shit.
Review.
Dirty, huh, bro?
He also may be indicted by the FBI for his role in the Cunningham scandal. After Goss's announcement, Fago told his colleagues he would resign next week. This morning, President Bush nominated General Michael Hayden to replace Porter Goss. Hayden's the Deputy Director of National Intelligence,
the man, hate the sin.
The former Director of National Security Agency. It's expected Hayden would face a contentious confirmation process over the administration's domestic spying program, which is run by the NSA. This is General Hayden speaking at a rare...
Mind you, when this was happening in like 2006, this was like the first time that the country was like, this is like a whole, I think, 8 years before Snowden or so. This is the first time there was some shit like, oh shit, okay, the boner, or not boner, but the war fever of like post 9/11 starting to wear off a little bit, and we're looking around. So this is like that.
This is the first collateral damage of like the Patriot Act kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like, people were like, oh, there was some overreach here.
Yeah.
A news conference in January defending the spy program. He was questioned by Knight Ridder reporter Jonathan Landay.
My understanding is that the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution specifies that you must have probable cause to be able to do a search that does not violate an American's right against unlawful searches and seizures.
Actually, the Fourth Amendment actually protects all of us against unreasonable search and seizure.
Okay. So point being, why I wanted to get to this. So amidst all this scandal, we flip a CIA director, a cherished veteran who's crying in front of everyone. But okay, let's read that in the context of this now. Let's see. So Michael Hayden, right? CIA director forced out. The Hayden Center, his official think tank, this is the official account if you go look at it, liked a post in 2023 about Sean Kirkpatrick being harassed. Now, this might be really hard for people to comprehend, but Tupa, let me just try and get it for everyone again. A CIA director is basically banished for overstepping fucking surveillance shit. The new CIA director is this guy. He's not the CIA director anymore. He does, I think, 3 or 4 years. His think tank is liking King Milkfart Harassment Archive posts talking about how Sean Kirkpatrick's being harassed by the UFO hate group. What is to be made of this, Chupacabra?
Only one conclusion can come from this, and that is Lue's behavior and what's going on in the UFO community is on his radar, and that it's on his radar for a specific reason. Most likely Lue Elizondo.
Definitely watching. Hi, Lue.
He's definitely watching. He's watching it. I think he's understanding it. My guess is there was probably people that Lue has encountered in the UFO community who have made major complaints. I think we can see that through people like Ramirez, and the list probably goes on.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
You know what I mean? So I think that people like Hayden were very aware of what was happening. As well, let's not throw the fucking baby out with the bathwater. This is about Sean Kirkpatrick.
Yeah.
Sean Kirkpatrick is a well-respected guy in the government, as far as I know, right? Like, the fact that he was being harassed could also have caught the attention, right?
Oh yeah, they went after so many high level. But here's the thing, though. I was always like, why are they so bold? He comes from a network of people that blackmail the fucking. I'm not saying he did it, but you got to have some balls to be blackmailing the CIA director, an ace fighter pilot from Vietnam, cherished, beloved fucking congressman. You have to have some. That's a dirty motherfucker that's willing to do that, right? You could get a lot done if you're that kind of guy, but it takes ganas. It takes fucking lack of respect. Like, you know what I mean? There's so much there that the average person doesn't have. So, you know, he's probably like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, like,
well, you've done a
what's Kirkpatrick to fucking the CIA director? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To Cunningham.
Look how they treat him. Look how they treat him. Look how Lue directs, and the Lue crew directs the hatred towards people. They don't care about anybody. They went after NASA. They went after Kirkpatrick. They go after anyone.
Exactly.
And trying to figure out why. Well, look at their history now. Look at Lue's history. Look at the history of these organizations. They went after, like you said, the CIA director. They went after a war veteran turned congressman, and now he went to jail, lost his house. Also took a bribe. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? But still, dude, they were bribing these people with a shell company, MZM. How many shell companies exist in ufology right now? How many people are disciples of this man?
Yeah, how many
right
has Lue been part of? Guys, like,
think
I
about
really
it,
try not
dude.
to be a hater, but it's not like we have evidence of Grush telling fucking Enron execs like bye. You know what I mean? Like, we have that for Lue. Like, this is it. Like, it's not just like Lue. CIFA employee Lue Elizondo said, "Hey, I think you're actually right. I looked into this MZM thing, and it's totally sketch and fake and gay, and totally just a money laundering thing." It's like, no, brother. Actually, so and so said that it's all good, even though a month later he's going to say, "I had no idea any of this was going on." The guy that I'm citing, and he's speaking as Lue.
Behavior, like all the way through, bribing people, prostitutes for people, harassing people, looking up information on people. Like, that's the henchman. The people.
Well, that's the thing we didn't get to,
Lue, dude.
We got to it a little bit with Anjali, but Amy Eskridge was saying the same thing too. This concept of like honeypotting in this field is very real, and it's like, it sounds so dumb, and I know I thought the same thing too, but like, we both know a few motherfuckers who like legitimately been honeypotted by like a person
for real
who was just there to get information about you and act like they were like dating you. It's so weird to see happen IRL. But when I think too that like these people are willing to use prostitutes, and bro, the Pizzagate. Let me just say some words to let you know, like the Pizzagate shit. So after all this shit, they didn't go away. They just renamed. They got bought up by Veritas Group, which is a venture capital firm, I think, that the Clintons use a lot. Another one of the things that Veritas Group owns is Dino Corp, which has all this really sketch stuff with Pizzagate type stuff, where like missing kids from Haiti, missing kids from Kosovo, missing kids from Serbia, all kind of like under the same little.
Wait a second, really?
Yeah,
but
well,
that's not just Pizzagate, dude. That's like MK Ultra shit. That's like this psionic asset. You know what I mean? Look at the stuff that people have been saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're really seeing I think we're seeing a lot of, and maybe even Jake Barber. I mean, Jake Barber basically told you this too. Like,
lost your red.
Oh shit! Hello, how about now? Hello.
We'll see what happens over there.
No.
You guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, test. No.
Check one, check two. All right. In the chat, let me know if you guys can hear me. I do not know what happened to Red. I can see his mouse moving. Okay, we got movement. Okay. John Ramirez is an ex-CIA officer. Red probably can or can't hear me. Oh, I just can't hear Red?
Yeah, I guess they could hear me. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Because
well,
I'm talking.
all right.
Go for it, Tuba. You could go for it. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, John Ramirez, he basically just says, and you can read it there if you want. I'm already pretty beat. He operates on behalf of Pentagon stakeholders with the most to lose from disclosure. Let me play this last thing too. Let's close with some Anjali, because I feel like it all blends together. What she was told. Friend of the show. Let me just pull this up. I'm also doing this in a garage right now, guys, without my fan on, so you guys could hear. So appreciate that. Respect the game. All right, let's see.
Figure out the right way to say this. Okay. I'm just going to say it. There is to my knowledge, which I find this source very credible, and it was said to me only in person, and no one else was around, and this is what it was. That there is, what I'm assuming, is a counterterrorism or counter-intel operation going on that is attempting in the United States to wrap up all fringe and fringe and further extreme, as they call it, beliefs and activities, and to associate them all in such a way as to be able to call them enemies of the state, essentially. Okay, and then we fall under some type of homeland domestic terrorism provision that allows for this to happen. Okay, and before you
just to ground what you just said into some reality for the group here, right? For all the listeners.
I thought that was very reality based. I even gave you historical references.
It's incredibly reality based, but I want people to know that I believe this is happening, and I believe it's happening right here every day on UFO Twitter. Okay?
Absolutely.
And look no further than the statements that Lue Elizondo made, all right, on the podcast that's now famous, that clip that you should never be able to unhear, which is that Lue Elizondo said, and I've memorized this, not by choice, just by repetition, right? He says,
left the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been. I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I just do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
I'm not a UFO guy. I'm not a ufologist. I never have been. I never will be. I'm a counter-intel guy, counterterrorism, counterinsurgencies. That's who I am. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2007, I was asked to apply that skill set into the UFO community.
There it is. There it is. And I want you to know that I have noticed a pattern of accounts that have been made in 2007, 2008, and 2009 who have very little followers, changed their names, scrub the account, and then come and attack experiencers and people in this community, essentially. And they're often made from those 3 years, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Yet they have very little
I never thought about that. Red, have you ever thought about that? A lot of these accounts that have pop up and are suddenly occupied, the zombie accounts that get reanimated, they're from the time that Lue says he was asked to apply his skill set.
Amen, brother. That's what I'm telling you. Who brought it into the public sphere? Who was the first one that went on the news and the mainstream media picked it up?
Elizondo.
That's right.
Elizondo.
This is how that loop goes. Okay.
So what do you think, Tuba? That's about it for the show, man. Are you there now? Can you hear us? If not, he's in the chat. Comment what you think.
Dude,
what did we stumble into, brother?
We really did stumble into this. Like I had no idea this thing was going on. Right? This is
it's gonna have fun to make UFO documentaries and have a great old time.
That's literally what I sounded like. That's stupid. Year one, dude. Year one. It's all fun. I love everyone, dude. Let's just be friends. Why are you attacking John Greenwald? What is this? I got a website made about me? Oh shit. That's the situation. We stumbled upon this because these individuals wanted to remove us from the topic. We accidentally critiqued the wrong person, did the wrong thing, but little did people know we had just got started. We had no intention of letting something like this stop us from getting answers like aliens and disclosure and stuff. But then
About the people who held up Lue while he did all this horrible shit to people.
I remember
with this
every
knowledge.
single one of them. I remember every single one of them.
Everyone who called it drama, I remember too, bro.
I remember every time it cut so deep when people were falling for it, dude. There's a problem here. I've been saying it. It's as simple as this. Like, this is a civilian community full of very open-minded people who have a fox in the henhouse, military grade, counter intel, insurgency, counterterrorism tactics being utilized against civilians here. It's 100% illegal. There might be loopholes here and there, but I promise you, there's enough people that this is damaged, from Kirkpatrick to Nadia Drake, right, to more. I mean, we're not shutting up about it. At the time they started attacking me, I mean, dude, I think I had like 7,000 followers. I think, you know what I mean? And it was, I don't know what was going on. It was very bizarre. We went through so much ups and downs here, and we were always flying blind, you know what I mean? And also having to fight with one hand tied behind our back. We didn't know what was going on. So many people in the community were covering for Lue. So many plants, but also so many just followers, individuals who didn't know better but had
Good
faith
people.
in him. They had faith in him. They had faith in the fact, oh, like, you know, let's just judge the numbers. If I'm just looking at it, looks like Lue's right and these guys are wrong. It looks like King Milkfart's making a little bit of sense here. You know, we tried to tell everyone, listen, that's not, something's not right. It's not mathing out, right? And the fact people need to come to terms. There's two options here, in my opinion. You have two options. You have Lue Elizondo was doing all of the things we just covered. He's guilty of everything, but he was doing it on behalf of some government situation, in which case he might get away with what was going on and what was happening. He might get away with it and might do it again later on. Who knows? Is he the Oliver North of ufology? Probably. But was he asked to do it? Or the other option, he's doing all this stuff, so just as guilty, but he took it upon himself to run these ops. He did
hit up all the old CIFA boys.
Yes, or at least the CIFA tactics, right? Create a shell company, get some money in there, keep money flowing in, pay off the guys who are out there doing the field work, right? Create a network of influence, make sure that you control the topic, but you're just kind of like doing it as a freelancer, a rogue agent. You're just.
What does your gut tell you now after everything we've looked at with this dude?
If I have to pick between those two options,
any of them, yeah. Why is he doing what he's doing?
Well, he's definitely doing what he's doing because that's his training. He's like, okay, but I think if I have to guess, I think he's doing this on his own. I don't think he has government backing on this. I think I think this is off the books. That's my gut is telling me that. I'm sure I'm open to
like
more.
I said, I was there for a bit and I bounce around all the time too. But these days with the CIFA shit, I'm kind of leaning towards what I'd said at the beginning of just getting the means, but laundering it through the UFO community crazies instead of I'm a guy with a Lockheed Martin contracted brand on my sleeve, controlling this narrative.
I can see. I mean, maybe, but dude.
I mean, CIFA. I mean, those names. I didn't come up with those names.
Let's go.
Lockheed, Northrop, Halliburton.
Those are reasons to say it's not right. It's not a rogue agent. But I'll give you the reasons why I think it could be. I think number one for me that stands out is the people he has hired. His little support group they're crazy. They're not vetted. They're loose-lipped. They don't seem well balanced. They don't seem well controlled. You know what I mean? They tell on themselves constantly. They let shit slip. They're so prideful. They're egotistical. It's almost as if they are excited because it's their first op. So they don't seem like they're well trained, well experienced, well vetted. They seem like people that Lue Elizondo was able to kind of convince. That's why I think number one, more that stands out to me, that this is a homegrown op. All of the experience leading up to it tells me that he could have actually he's re-executing his own training, but just at a level where he's the boss instead of the person who has to do the middleman stuff. When he's doing this stuff online, he's the boss. He's the director, right? But when he was doing the stuff for CIFA, he was just a middle guy. He had to go do these things. But now he's going to take all of that experience and then apply it himself to this stuff in order to secure people's bags for them. Maybe some of these congressmen and women, maybe he had connections, right? But he said he left the DOD and to apply the skill set. But by who? Who asked him to do it? He doesn't clarify if it was a government person who asked him or if it was a private company, like let's say NIDS or let's say Earth Tech or let's say Gaia.
What from any of the CIFA stuff we've talked about could be other than what he's doing, right?
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, CIFA also had this great thing where they were looking into optical lenses and seeing what the best lens, you know what I mean? Like, it was either they were bribing motherfuckers and trapping them with hookers, or they were over surveilling Quakers. And like,
yes. I think about all the things he's told people to start companies because maybe he'll flood money in their account.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and this knowledge of him, like, why go to Ali Clark and be like, I know that you had Jeff Bezos on your thing, and let me feed into this kind of, I think is a delusion, not against her, like it's being done on her purpose, but this delusion that like you're a there's time travelers or cloning and watch this movie Meet Joe Black. That's to me seems unnecessary. For
that was meant to destabilize her. Why would he feed into
it's like
her
he's going out of
delusion?
his way to destabilize all these people.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were doing the
think about the photos.
let's keep it as in-house as possible. Let's keep as many loose ends as possible. It seems like he's trying to make loose ends. He's trying to make, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know. Oh, all right, man. Well, that was a long time. Fuck. 3 hours though. I mean, pretty solid. Pretty cool.
Worth it. This is wild. I'm also burning up in a garage because I mean, dude, this is.
Oh, you're burning up in a garage too. Oh,
dude,
that's what. Yeah, we're both. Yeah,
the West Coast. I was surprised my computer has lasted this long out here, dude. Like this is crazy.
That green thing too earlier. I'd never seen. What part was that for?
Dude, you know who we got to get, dude? We got to get the heavy hitters to come in on this, dude. We need Gerb. We need Green Street. We need Greenwald. You know what I mean? We need to start talking about this because this is gonna lend so much, I think, help and.
I think it's already. Yeah, we've already won, but yeah, it should be good to get everyone talking right now. But
I mean, when people read about this era, this is new information. Like it was all skeptical. People even, were like able to be like, oh, I don't believe you. You guys are crazy. This is nuts. But with this added information and with the fact that it was basically pre-vetted by very good researchers and most, recently UAP Gerb, who's being a celebrated researcher, who's saying people need to look into this specifically. They need to FOIA that what he was doing there. Guys, I think if you want to see like that Spaces or that stream, dude, hit these guys up. We need Greenwald. We need Green Street. People to come in and share what they know, what they've been able to find, and also
yeah. And I was like, "Well, can you share something?" He said, "I don't like the way you approach this." Like, well, bro, I think I've actually approached it amazingly. First off,
well, dude, it's not like we were sitting in a newsroom because we're very seasoned journalists, and it's like, oh, this story came across our desk, and now we have to apply our same journalistic. Dude, we literally are victims of this group, and in order to fight it, we had to document it, understand it, learn about it, and every time we thought it was just a group of people who were trolling it, we got a little bigger, and then now we're over here investigating people's time at, you know what I mean, notorious government agencies that were shut down in shame because they were bribing congressmen and the director of the CIA, which when you loop it back the way you did to the fact that the Hayden Center liked your post, and these posts, that's early on. Like the idea of
that was when no one was fucking
harassment.
Dude, in 2023.
No one was watching that. But then the fact that he liked that account's post and then it was about what it was about. We're over here like literally exposing the harassment of David Grush, the harassment of Nadia Drake and NASA, the harassment of Sean Kirkpatrick, a well-liked government dude, you know what I mean, who was director of Aero. Like I mean, this is kind of wild. And I'm telling you, Congress is very much interested in hearing this side of the story. That's a fact. Not only was Burleson in the Spaces talking to us, which we've been a one note, you know what I mean, thing for a while. We can't separate ourselves from the discussion of this hate group and of Elizondo's activities. So they're paying attention. Congress is paying attention, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot more maybe people talk about how deceptive these things have been. You know, like you played the clip of Eric Weinstein, kind of like talking about how he was kind of whipped up by these guys. I posted a comment about something like that, and then his brother, Brett Weinstein, hit me up in the DM and was like, what do you know about this group? And what do you mean? Like, you know, like what's going on? Because he was concerned. He sounded like a concerned brother. So I tell Brett, I go, look, this is the situation. Like, there's a group in here that are like the UAP guys, and they've been kind of whipping people up, and they're doing a bunch of weird. I explained it very well, and especially in relation to this U.S. aid stuff and counterterrorism, like how these people are being grouped up. And then the next day, I had no idea this was going to happen. The next 2 days later, he's on Joe Rogan, and he brings up USAID. He brings up the drone wave, about how like he brought all that shit up, dude. And so these guys are listening. They're paying attention, even if they're not popping in as speakers, even if they're not, you know what I mean, engaging in the tweets, they're listening. They care about what we're saying as a community. And I think this is one of those things that needs to be outed, because it affected academia, it affected Congress, it affected national security, and it's affecting obviously our community here. That's a pretty big span. That's huge.
No, I think they're fucked, bro. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like, how else can I look at it as they try to like launder us to get murdered, bro? They would have been happy, I think, if no one was trying to de-escalate that situation. Whoever was in those back channels with Eric and Dodie after the Lue thing was not trying to de-escalate it, even to when it got to like a motherfucker like saying, I'm gonna go kill those guys. And I'm looking up the laws. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. They'll go as far as they need to go. They use people. They whip people up. They take advantage of at-risk individuals, people who have trauma, head injury, people who are very culty, right? They have like appeal to authority. Like they're using those people. Look at Rob Heatherly. Look at the behavior of Thomas Fessler. Just look at the behavior, the etiquette, the candor of the people who insulate Lue. They're not great. It's not great optics. You know what I mean? That's why I think
like the Joker, bro. Like it's like you into insaneness. That his henchmen are all like literally mentally disturbed people who probably need a therapist, not a counter-intel dude whipping them up and putting them on weirdo little missions and back channels. Bro.
How many of them are drug addicts who are accusing everyone else of being a drug addict,
or literally have brain tumor? Like, he knows
brain tumors, traumatic brain injuries, very serious things, dude. Bipolar disorder. You know what I mean? These are injured, hurt people who need actual leadership and friendship, but Lue and crew appear to be able to take advantage of them and whip them up. We've literally seen them whip up people. I saw them weaponize a Big Homie. They were trying to, they'll do anything they can. The Darren Big Homie weaponization is one of the most egregious, blatant versions of this thing. And it's international. Darren's in Canada. You know what I mean? These guys are all over the map. All over the map. I got a home visit. Remember my home visit? That was weird.
You just had another one, bro. You just had another one.
Oh yeah, I imagine there'll be a lot of them, dude. I imagine a lot of them. Like, it's affected the way I operate. I don't go to conventions. You know what I mean? I don't want people to know where I'm at.
These people are willing to blackmail and entrap congressmen. You know what I mean? They're willing shell companies for millions of dollars of tax free. Like, it's just another breed, bro. Like, yes. I'm staying strapped, bro, until. Oh, and actually, this might be good to close out. Like, at first, there's kind of a little bit of a pipe dream, but I really think that this shit, dude. If anyone should be scared about this shit, it should be the CIFA gang stalker who's doing it again. You know what I mean?
You know, the American people's trust in the intelligence community has been eroded and undermined really for decades. There have been intelligence failures, abuses of power, weaponization and politicization of the intelligence that the community provides. Our team that is made up of some of the most talented intelligence officers across the community who love our country and who have been so disgusted and betrayed by leaders who have weaponized it to serve their own political or personal interests. The more we dig, the more we find. It is disheartening to see these things, but it also provides us the opportunity to tell the American people the truth about what's been going on so that we can make sure we try to bring about an end to it. There are some U.S. attorneys who are eager to see what we are finding, and in some cases are already working their own cases to bring about that necessary accountability. If no one is ever held accountable, we are going to continue to see this weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community.
Now, Tulsi Gabbard announced a new intelligence community task force with the goal of restoring transparency. She told Fox News that the task force wants to, quote, rebuild trust in the intelligence community.
Oh, all right, man. Let's close it out. Hop into chill down space.
Yeah, like a
any
pool,
other closing
bro.
thoughts?
Great that you put this together. I appreciate that. Thank you guys all for dropping in those super
Yeah, and I
chats
agree. Cover
shit.
the Epstein files, but honestly, something's holding that up. I totally disagree with that being held up. But perfect timing to bag a motherfucker like Lue, right? For them.
They're gonna need to do something about this guy, dude. This is I think that the potential to collapse whatever they're trying to get an amnesty for and instead draw attention to it, I think is actually on the table. If the effort was, you know what I mean? If the effort was paid to allow them to get away with these crimes, I hope that instead attention is paid to the crimes. These people
I
are
really think we might
prosecuted
get
for
fucking
them.
psyop reparations, bro. Also, Anjali, thank you so much to Anjali, all these different people who've come together. Also, Anjali, I told you this in space, but you definitely got targeted by this group. We didn't get to go into it too detail for yours because we're trying to move things along here. But you didn't let it make you become bitter. You're still very nice to people, very sweet to
Super
people.
sweet, beautiful Anjali, for real. Like, I met Anjali in New York at the only UFO event I've ever been to. I got psyops. No, I'm playing. It was good. It was a good time. I think it's great the fact that there are people here who went through this and are not bitter and are not trying to do, you know what I mean, tear stuff down. It's a beautiful thing, especially when you got the contrast of it in the mix of people who are so bitter and either just straight up left or are still in the mix trying to debunk and discredit everything and hurt other people because they were hurt. So it's a hard thing to go through and still have like your wits about you. But hopefully by bringing attention to this stuff, we slow it down. It has absolutely slowed down. So that theory it stands. And maybe the more people who talk about it and share it, the easier it will be.
I think
for
they're already done,
people
bro.
to recognize
Something's
this
up.
stuff.
Something's cooking in the back channels right now. I think everyone could feel it. Especially it's popping its head up. It's subpoenaed now. Grush is subpoenaing you, Lou? Like what? Okay, but yeah. All right, man. I'll see you in space, dude. Thank you for being here.
Peace, man.
Peace. Woo! See you there, bro. Bye.